Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be going over all the brand new playoffs round 2 cards coming out today here in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Unfortunately, I already recorded this video. My audio just glitched, so I'm going to have to record it again, and here we are. So I've already looked at all these cards, got some pretty good cards in here. Almost every card I would say is at least usable, which is a W. Maybe not quite the top tier options here, but I do think there's a lot of fun cards to use and a couple guys that I specifically am excited about from today's drop. So before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 25,000 subscriber mark on the channel as I upload this video. We are legitimately about 12 subscribers away from 25K. So would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Literally going to hit that today. I think we're going to hit it today anyway, which is pretty cool. So really appreciate all y'all's support. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. And let's start off with Al Horford, who admittedly is one of the worst cards here. 6'9" with 7 foot wingspan. Stats and badges are great, as is pretty much the case with almost every one of these cards. You look at him, he's complete. He's got a lot of versatility, is very, very solid for a power forward. His release just isn't great. It's the one critique. He's only 6'9", doesn't have unbelievable size, and his release is just not that great. As a whole, that's the thing that holds this card back. Sigs are okay. Animations aren't awful, but I think in general, his release being bad is kind of one of the things that's going to hold this card back. So when you compare him to most of these cards, he's definitely one of the worst. Now, PJ Washington does not have the same issue with his release. He's only 6'7" with a 7'3" wingspan, but 2K did give him small forward eligibility, which is a W because that's where he's been. I mean, he's been playing some small forward for sure. He definitely hasn't been playing much center. 94 speed Nick Sell, 98 3 ball. 95 driving dunk defensively, really, really good looking and well-rounded as well. And honestly, like, I love the versatility of this card. He needs handles for days added, but he's pretty much got everything else at an elite level too. Finishing, shooting, and defense is really, really good. And then he's got Kyrie dribble style, Kemba escape, John Wall's drag back, pro behind the back. I'm hoping that's Jamal Murray behind the back. I don't know yet. It's hard to know. We can't know until we load into the game and actually try the card out. But I'm hoping that's Jamal Murray behind the back. And if so, I'm probably using this card because with how good his release is, Pro 2 fade, all that type of stuff, and just the fact that PJ has legitimately become one of my favorite players in the NBA over the past a couple of months since he got traded to the Mavs. This is the type of card that is both very good but also very fun for me, and so me personally, just as a Mavs fan and as a PJ Washington fan, I'm excited to use this card. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I think he's a really good card as well. DiVincenzo is 6'4" with a 6'6" wingspan at the point guard position. His diamond card was the best point guard in the game when it came out. Now, this card is not going to be. Playmaking badges could use a little bit of work. No half handles for days especially is kind of an issue. His defense is good, his shooting is great, and his finishing is pretty good. Although an 85 driving dunk is a little bit low. But as a whole, he's a pretty good looking card. I'm not going to take that away from this DiVincenzo. I think he's solid all the way around. I think he's very usable at the point guard position. I know his release is solid. Pro 2 fade as well and good sigs. Like as a whole, the card will be fun to use, and I think he'll be pretty good. I'm not certain that he's going to be the most elite point guard in the game. There are definitely still better options, but he certainly is not a bad one. Josh Hart, unfortunately, is not going to be as good as the last couple cards. And that's okay. He's just only 6'4" at shooting guard, so he's kind of small. And if I remember correctly, his release also isn't very good. So you combine a mediocre release and a lack of size, and those are two of the biggest flaws that a card can have, especially at this point in the year. So Josh Hart is an absolute dog in real life. And yes, they souped him up with all the defense, all the rebounding, all the interior ability and everything. But I do think with a lack of elite playmaking, a lack of elite level slashing badges as well, and also, a lack of size is just not a great release. It's hard to justify this Josh Hart card being one of the better cards from this drop or anything like that. Naz Reid, 6'9" with a 7'3" wingspan. This man has become a cult favorite, and I understand why. He is a hooper, and I'm glad to see him get a new card with really good stats, too. Super fast, good shooter, good dunker, good defender, versatile, can put the ball on the floor at a pretty high level. Needs bailout, break starter, and handles for days added for sure, but defensively, he's super complete and good. He's got great shooting badges, and finishing-wise is also really good. Half bulldozer, rise up, precision dunker, posterizer, all that type of stuff. Releases on very quick. Kemba escape, Kyrie dribble style, hard behind the back. Again, on a pretty big power forward who may not have the greatest height, but he's got a good wingspan. I know his player build's pretty good as well. As a whole, this is a really good free power forward. Like, I think Naz Reid is a really, really solid card for sure. Marcus Morris. Had honestly a decent playoff performance for the Cavs. He had one game in particular. We had like 22 points on like 7-11 or 9-11 or something like that. I don't know. But 6'8" with a 6'10" wingspan. Hotspots from literally everywhere. 25 Hall of Fame badges. Sorry, 27 Hall of Fame badges include a ton of shooting. A solid amount of defense as well. And blow by, physical handles, speed booster. Some finishing badges as well. Like, not a bad card, honestly. He's got decent athletic ability. He's a very good shooter. I know his release is pretty solid, and he's a versatile defender as well. Like, this is not a bad card whatsoever. Playmaking badges could maybe be a little better still, but as a whole, I like the card. I think he's pretty good, and Steph Escape could be a little better. John Wall's drag back, pro behind the back. Again, if that's Jamal Murray behind the back, it elevates this card. If it's not, it doesn't. But we don't really know that yet, so hopefully that is Jamal Murray behind the back. That'll elevate this card. Regardless, I'm not quite as excited about him as I am about PJ Washington. Guaranteed slightly better SIGs, and I think as good, if not better, of a release. A little more complete stat and badge-wise, maybe. Either way, Marcus Morris, not a bad-looking card, but I'm a little more excited personally about PJ Washington. Aaron Wiggins is only 6'8". Sorry, 6'5", not 6'8", 6'9" wingspan. He's kind of small at the shooting guard position because of being only 6'5", but he is an elite level shooter. He's got okay finishing. I mean, he's got 85 driving dunk, but at least he's got half posterizer, precision dunker. Shooting badges are great. Defensively, he's pretty good, although could be a little bit better probably. I like this card. I think he's solid. I don't know if he's unbelievably great or anything like that, but I do think he's going to be a pretty good card. Rodney Hood base, Torian Prince's upper is really good. I have no idea how Rodney Hood base is. If that's a good release, this is a pretty good card because Kemba Escape, Harden behind the back, Pro 2 fade. He'll be fun to use as a shooter and a shot creator at the very minimum. And I think if the release is pretty good, he'll be a very solid card, even if he's not the best shooting guard in the game or anything like that. Then we get to Daniel Gafford, who I love Daniel Gafford, but despite being a Mav, this is the worst card of today's drop for sure. Only a 59 3-ball at 6'10" is just not going to cut it at the center position. At this point in the year, he needs too many badges. Yes, he's a great defender and a great dunker, but he's basically a pure inside and an undersized one at that. That's not what you're looking for, and unfortunately, that's going to prevent this Daniel Gafford from being very good. So SIGs could be, they're honestly not horrific, but they could be better. But I do think, I don't know. As a whole, you got to be a little bit more competent of a shooter to be a super usable card. And at this point, Daniel Gafford, despite, I mean, I'm a Mavs fan, but he's definitely, I think, one of the worst, if not the worst, definitely the worst of these round 2 cards. Anthony Edwards is 6'4" with a 6'9" wingspan. This card literally is an exact clone of his other Dark Matter with slightly better stats. The only thing that really kind of matters is a plus 10 block from 85 to 95, but I'm not sure how much that truly matters. When it comes to the badges, they're obviously super complete and super good and come with pretty much everything. Like, you can add brick wall, free points, that's about it. Same exact stats and badges, or badges I should say specifically, as his previous Dark Matter. Release on very quick is okay. His SIGs could definitely be better. I don't love this Anthony Edwards card, to be honest. I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's an elite level best of the best card. And the fact that he's not point guard eligible is disappointing. His Bionic card wasn't either, and this one also isn't. And to me, that is a shame because I think that takes away from his viability for sure. Aaron Gordon is 6'8" with a 6'11" wingspan. Stat and badge-wise, just an absolute dog. Super complete and super good. The thing about this card is that they didn't change his animations, really. Pro Escape, normal behind the back. Like, SIGs are not good enough for Aaron Gordon, to be honest. I just think he's going to struggle as a shot creator to do anything besides catch and shoot, and his release is truly not elite enough to really have that be the case. So, versatile defender, very athletic, but I don't think as a whole really entirely worth using, in my personal opinion, at least. And then finally, I got Donovan Mitchell, 6'3" with a 6'10" wingspan, hot spots from literally everywhere. Another 40 Hall of Fame badges. Stats and badges, as always, unexpectedly, are just absolutely, or unsurprisingly, I should say, are absolutely incredible. And he does have his own animations for the most part. His own release on very quick, his own fade, which I actually do like. But he does have Kyrie dribble style, John Wall's drag back. Rest of his SIGs are obviously his own still. And I think as a whole, he's a really, really nice card. And I think he's pretty fun to use. 6'3" with a 6'10" wingspan. He's got a good player build, makes him look a little bigger than 6'3". Like, he's going to be fun to use, and he's going to be pretty solid. Might be some point guards better for sure, but I definitely don't think he's a bad option. And as a whole, this looks like a pretty fun and pretty interesting drop. A lot of interesting cards. For me personally, I'm super excited about PJ Washington, and I just want to see at the end of the day how these cards are. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back on more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.